have you learned about designing a more impactful college internship program?
I have learned a lot. So, this year we went, and formalized the Students of the World experience to be a 10-week internship, and really formalized it more so in the spring and in the fall. So in the spring, our students have deliverables and benchmarks, both research and creative, that they have to hit every month. Last year was the first year we did, 3 4-day trainings with each team, and that was tremendous. We invested so much more in the student experience last year because we made that hard decision to go from 7 to 3 teams and really had to trim down. But by doing less, we were able to do so much more, and we were able to do exit interviews with our students when they left at the end of the summer, and it was really incredible because I think our students, the feedback that we got was overwhelmingly positive. The work that we got was overwhelmingly positive. Problems that we would have encountered every year prior to last year in the field weren't there as frequently. There were still problems, but they weren't there as frequently. And I think one of the important things that we have learned is really, at the very beginning, the way that you communicate with students is extremely important. And understanding that you need to set goals and benchmarks, and here are our values, and here's what we do, and here's what we don't do, and communicating that all up front. And being able to say, this is what at minimum, this is our best hope for you guys in terms of the work that you'll produce, but we know you're gonna, shoot for the moon. And, one of the things that we did this last year, which was sort of a learning year for us, was, we had all of these expectations of what we could do in post-production, and, you hear 6 weeks of work, and our students were like, well, what are we gonna do for 6 weeks? And then what happened was at 5.5 weeks, they're like, I can't believe we only have 3 days left, because there was just so much more work that they wanted to do and that we could have done. But really kind of setting those goals from the beginning and being able to be realistic in what we can achieve, but also giving students the flexibility and creativity to work within sort of some broader frameworks means that they'll come back with really creative products that are very effective for the organization. We had students do stop motion animation, which was not even anything I knew anything about until last year. But because we were able to give our students some creative freedom and an expression of how they wanted to tell these stories, we got some really, really great work out of that. And then I just think really constantly, checking in with the individuals as well as the team. And what we did last year is we had the producer of each team wrote us a weekly report of here's where the team is at, and we wanted both in terms of the work that they were doing, but also in terms of the emotional, where is the team at. And it was really nice to empower our producers to take on that role and then come with us and talk with us as they were having issues and problems throughout post-production. I think it's important when you work with college students to empower them to take leadership within projects that they're involved in, and not just talking down to them, but actually saying we're all in this together, so let's find a way to work in effective ways.